This is a quad core infinity coil. All right, and I'll explain it. Here's one for your car. Let's do one for your car, okay? This is a quad core for your car. Real simple. See how I've got the wire sitting on my hand here, okay? I'm gonna move it up a little bit, okay? It's gonna wrap it, really make my hand flat. I'm going to wrap it this way twice. All right, so now it's coming up. Now I got both wires here, right? Pull my hand out. Okay, it doesn't matter if they're not matched. All right, and do that. And this is for your car. Okay. Put this inside. Close it down. See how quickly this happens.
Mike?
Yeah.
We do have a question while you're wrapping. There's a person who was asking if this will make their pets ill if they come in contact with it.
Will this hurt your pets?
Yeah,
No.
the cancer.
No, this will not hurt your pets. You know, it's like touching a tabletop surface when you touch it, when it's, you know, nano coated. The only thing that you worry about is if you tap on it and it cracks the eggshell, okay? Then you have exposed metal and plasma leaking out. So, you know, that's why I suggest putting some sort of a cover over it, just so it doesn't get knocked around and damaged, because the nano coating is what's holding the energy inside of it, okay?
Okay. I think the concern is that this person has a pet that is not well at all since they started doing the work with the coils. Not necessarily the one you're creating now, but the regular Magrev
Is
unit.
ill from the coils?
Yeah, that's what they're wondering, I think.
Okay, what do you have on your coils? That's the question you need to ask yourself.
Let me see if I can find out that for you here, just a second.
All right. I'm going back again. All right, I'm creating a potential difference when I skip a loop or I skip a groove in there, okay? So it doesn't have to be perfect. You want it to have that potential difference, guys, okay? You want to be unique. You want to be an individual, all right? So literally, this is all it is, okay? Mark it.
Okay, so it is a question about, yeah, it is a question about the nano coating in your pet.
I'm going to show you the nano coating. This is a caustic that I made. The health caustic. It's got floaties in it. Okay. I don't remember exactly what's in it because the sun bleached off the top. But thank you, sir. I know it's one of my health benefit ones. This probably has, you know, some ganja in it or something. Okay, to put off the health benefits. But you do the same thing with this as you would on your house wire. All right. You find something that plugs into your lighter to your car, or you can put this in line like a fuse. Okay. Just cut one of the positive wires. All right. Make sure that this end, okay, your source end, is attached to the red wire. Okay. And is pointed towards the battery. Okay, I mean, the energy is going to come from this direction, all right, and travel into the outer coils, all right, creating pressure, all right, it's going to travel back up, all right, and then back through the quad core, okay, and then back out the center line, all the way out here. So all of this energy is being compressed on that central wire. All right, and instead of 4 wires, you have 2. All right, and there is no confusion, there is no mishaps, because you know you didn't know how to wrap a wire around it. Okay, that kind of thing. It's confusing. And if you don't sit down and you have multiple parts and pieces that you're trying to construct into one, you have to start from the beginning, okay, the center, and work your way out. All right. If you're to make this a little bit bigger, okay, you guys can see the loop here. Well, you make it bigger and you get the honk. Enough said. All right. But you put this in line with your positive wire, okay, like a fuse. You put electrical tape around it. You nano coat it. All right. Now I'm going to nano coat this. Okay. This is how difficult my nano coating process is, guys. All right. I don't have to do anything else. Okay. This is not necessarily the only way. I know this. Plastic baggie. Make sure and spray all of it. We use a drill. Put it in here. We're going to do the same thing, all right, as the other coils. Now, you can use a much thicker coil like 20 gauge or whatever you want, but it becomes really bulky, okay? And we're trying to cut down on the bulk. All right. This is just a little charm. This is a 12 gauge, I believe, 12 gauge house wire. Okay, it had a little yellow jacket on it and 3 wires in it. A bare wire and a white one and a black one, I think. At any rate, it's pretty basic, pretty simple. Okay, I'll explain it as we go here. I'm using the white insulation so you can see the coils when I'm done. Not everybody's going to be as fast as this, so don't be so hard on yourself, guys. All right. Go all the way down, and then I bring it back up. Once I have enough wire. Okay. Bring it back up. Make a pretty pattern. You don't have to fill it all the way up. It doesn't matter. All right. And go back one more time. That's your third pass. Okay. And I stutter when I do this. And I move faster, slower. Make a pattern. I'm speeding things up here a little bit for you. But I want to express to you the importance of being random. Okay. I don't measure any of these things until after it's done, because everything I make has a purpose, just like everything that you make. Even if you think you messed up, if you save it, okay, you set it off to the side, you'll come back to it a little later and you'll be like, that's the reason why I have it. Or that's the reason why I have, 27 jars of GANs up there. And I don't know what all to do with it all because I only need a little bit, and the whole thing works out. So now I'm going to show you if we can. I don't know how well my camera is, but all right, it's wrapped around it. I did it 3 times. Okay, it started here, switched directions. Okay, or no, it started here, excuse me, went all the way down, and it switched directions and came back and switched directions again. So that's 3 times. Okay, so that's 3 field interactions that are opposite from each other, plus the central wire. Okay, so that's 4 field interactions with just this. All right, that's what we're working with here. As above, so below. This thick wire will deliver the same amount of energy as that little wire that's wrapped around it. Okay, we want the bigger wire to make us feel better. Okay, so Just kind of keep that in mind, as above, so below. Now, you might be interested to find out, or the reason why I left the insulation on this one, okay? I know that it nano coats underneath the insulation when I nano coat my stuff. All right? It takes a little bit longer, okay, but eventually it will. It will nano coat it all, and you'll be able to tell, okay? The insulation, however, is giving you a barrier around that wire, okay? It's giving you a little air gap. It doesn't really exist when we start working with plasma, okay? The copper wire really doesn't exist as a copper wire because it becomes an egg, a cylindrical shaped egg for light, okay? And we get to trap that light inside of this wire, okay? And that's what infinity is all about. It's trapping light so that it can be expressed and understood, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to shape this wire into a shape that will actually trap it and use it, okay? And give it a purpose, all right? Because I'm making a health charm, I know, okay? I know what I'm making, so I've got an idea in my brain already what it's supposed to look like. Ta-da, okay? Something like this, right? So it doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna go with the flow, all right? I'm gonna go with what my brain tells me I can do because this is, 6-inch wire. I don't question it, I just do it, guys. I like to have fun. This is my meditation, okay? All I'm doing is bending it. I'm gonna try and get you to see this, all right? I just bend it down around the pin, okay? I like to bend mine flat, okay, or semi-flat. And then I stack another one, okay, another size. You can alternate back and forth. I've got big ones and I've got smaller ones. I've used nails before just because it's the right size that fits, okay? Now, I'm going to show you to continue the flow, okay? Here. Now, we'll continue this flow. And it's important that you guys see, okay, the over under nature, right? You have to go, if this one is crossed over here, okay, and it goes over, the next time it comes around this way, it has to go under, okay? So it's not on top of each other, all right? It's a simple twist of the coil, all right? But it is something that can be overlooked, okay? This one, I bent it kind of funny, but I like it. So I'm gonna go with the flow here, all right? You're gonna watch me create something. I was expressing what a yin and yang does when you're folding wires, okay? When you're creating the plasma, okay? And you're gonna watch this thing fold up on itself. I'll try and get it as it's folding. I'm using my pliers as the space for plasma, okay? I hate this camera. All right, I'll just make it, it's not working for you there. I'm gonna show you the yin and yang of this. Okay. And you can do any design you want. Just point your plasma back into itself. Okay. Be creative. You're making this for your loved ones. It should be pretty. It should make you feel good that you made this, okay? But I want to show you here the infinity or the yin and yang, okay? And you can see it right here and right here. Because they touch on this side right here, okay? That's so horrible. But you can see the yin and yang here, okay? Just by twisting it with the pliers. And the pliers fit right in the ends, okay? And it right on itself, okay? Just creates balance. But there's a charm. It can be anything you want, okay? Let's make this a little ergonomically prettier, I guess. Okay. Now you got a little charm that you can give to somebody after you nano coat it. Okay. You nano coat it, you can even put a little CO2, brush it onto the coil here. And what you've created is basically a capacitor for infinity. Okay. And, you know, it has its own power source. That's what the yin and yang is. Okay. But it's very minute, and that's what you need. Okay. So when you put the CO2 on here, okay, it'll activate the coils over the top of the insulation. Okay. But it doesn't matter. It's all touching the same wire. It's all there. Okay. So don't overthink it. Don't hurt yourselves trying to do something that really doesn't matter on it. The other suggestion that I have is to make sure that there is a small gap in between where they cross over, okay? Because that's where the magic is happening, is right there in the middle where these things cross over, okay? That's where it happens. And so when they wear it, all right, they'll wear it on their neck like mine, all right? They'll wear it on their neck and it'll blast out the energy that they need and protect them. It'll make them healthier. You're giving the gift of light, guys.
So there was a quick question from Kelly, and she wanted to know how you did the fold on it because her view was kind of fuzzy.
The fold
I'm going to
to make the infinity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see here. White wire. I was prepared for this. Okay. So you got the white wire. I just put it on this little wooden dowel. Okay, this is the one that I chose to be the right size. Okay. You know what? Let's not use that. Let's use an expo marker. Okay. And we'll bring that around. Okay. So all I did, bend it, even them up, I guess. All right. And then you can put a smaller one in the middle. Okay. And all I'm doing is bending it. Since this one right here was under, I'm going to go over this time. Okay. And twist it. Okay. And now you can remove these. Don't have to multiple twists or anything like that unless you really want to. If it feels right, then do it, guys. Okay. There's no wrong way to do this except to
got a thumbs up on that. They get it now.
okay, good.
There's another question about the nano coating.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've completed your ornament or your pendant or whatever you want to use it for, touching the skin and the whether it's really safe or not to actually wear something like that, where it's touching the skin regularly.
I haven't had any problems with it myself, but this is my infinity loop. Okay, so I made it. Therefore, I don't expect to have any problems with it. However, if you're concerned about it, then it's something that you need to address. Otherwise, it's going to be a distraction for you. I choose to not let it be a distraction for me. So I don't know. I guess I'm immune to the fears of nano coating and plasma and things like that. But what you guys have are healthy fears and questions. Okay. but you don't have to worry about it so much. Just do something. It's just doing it that is going to give you that experience. And there's nothing here that is going to, be so traumatic that you can't redo it. You know what I mean? Or you can't take a step back and say, okay, I just need to take that out of there. You know what I mean? So, don't be afraid of the nano coating. If it's yours, the reason why you don't want to touch it and you don't want to handle it, okay, is because every piece that you make and you touch, you transfer your energy to. So it can't be used to help somebody else. And, on their own, you have to physically use those devices to help other people when you touch them in order for them to work. So, go back and watch Harry Potter, guys. The wand chooses who it's going to be with. In this case, when you touch it, nano coating, they're the one. And you have been chosen by the light to help people and yourself. So
There's question though, just because Mr. Kesh also points out not to touch the GANs or the nano coating and to be very cautious about it. So this is I think also something that maybe we need to just approach, and that is the fact that we are the power, that we are the energy.
We are the energy, and when you touch GANs, okay, in any way, shape, or form, or nano, it understands your intention. So if you're in a bad mood, or
There you go.
whatever, it's going to pick up on that. Now, it's also, I don't know, I treat it like picking up baby chicks. Okay, chickens, they're really delicate. You got to keep you got to love them. You got to nurture it. You got to take care of it. I've heard Mr. Kesh say before that when something misbehaves, you got to put it in the closet. It's got to be isolated. It's grounded. It's treat it like a child. That's the best way to do it. You got to make sure it's got enough love and enough food, and it can receive enough energy. So, if you're going to come in contact with any GANs, okay, it should be only CO2, okay, because if you mix with other GANs, you can make yourself sick. That's the reason for that. Just because you're absorbing it, and maybe something will show up on your kidney and you don't intend for that. So there are some unintended consequences, and that's why it's important to have the knowledge. And Mr. Kesh has done a very good job of teaching the mechanics of how to build light. And for those that understand nuclear physics and all of the numbers and everything like that that's associated with it, it can be pretty mind-boggling. Heck, this right here looks like a supercomputer for some people, and it's a voltmeter. I still don't know how to use it. I only use it to polarize my coils, which is why I brought it tonight, to show you. Okay. I know that's been a big question. Okay. But as soon as you bring it out of your caustic, okay, and it's black and it's been sitting in there forever, and before it dries, okay, if it's dried, spray some more in there, or get it wet and let it moisten up again. Okay, that's kind of the point here. We're going to deal with this. All right, you can't see my coil, but it's on the ground, but you can see my leads. Okay, and these leads are right there. Okay, you can see the source, right? Oh wait, it's always source, remember, because it's curved. Okay, so you have source, and then you have the other side. All right, so your source is the positive line. Red is positive. Okay, so when you're doing this and you have your voltmeter, okay, Mr. Cash suggests that you put it to 200 millivolts, okay, on your meter. All right. It's picking me up already. That's fantastic. See, I'm giving love, guys. Oops, wrong finger. My bad. Really. Yeah, I'm giving loves. I've got energy here.
111.
So
That's amazing.
now, when you're doing it, the red, okay, is your positive. That's your source line, okay? That's the one that goes in there, all right? So when you're doing this, you're going to touch this one to here, and you're going to touch this one. You're going to get a meter reading. This one's reading already, and it's not even nano-coded. Awesome.
Good wire.
And you feel the love. Okay. Boy, a lot of energy, ambient energy here. But anyway, that's how you polarize it. It's really simple, okay? It's not like your plates, all right? This is a single wire. Regardless of what you think, this is only one wire, okay? So you only have an in and an out, a positive and a negative, okay? In plasma, this one is negative, okay? An electron, it's positive. That's why we use the red, all right? This is why I identify, okay, red with the negative side of plasma, okay? It's just a memory tool for me. I could care less about the colors, but when we start mixing a whole bunch of colors out there, you know, it can get confusing. So if we use red, black, and blue, it's perfect. Those are 3 colors that we only need, right? And use yellow for light. But I use the red to identify with the electron side so that I know which way I need to go, because it is confusing. All right. And nothing's more frustrating than feeling like you need to do it over again. Okay. But you just connect the ends. You only need to do it once. All right. Just touch it. You can hold it there if you want to or not. The reason why it works is because this thing has a battery in it. Okay. Charge it again. Let's see here. All right. It's got a charge in it. That's what's holding these buttons on it, or the lights. Okay. Well, that battery has current that's running through it that's got to pass through these meters or these electrodes. Okay. So when it does that, that current still has to go through all of this wire. Okay. Every last bit of this wire, that current's got to go through, and that's what it's measuring. Okay. So when it's measuring that and it completes the circuit, all right, you're directing traffic. You're got electrons in this thing after it's nano-coated, okay, that you want it to go that direction, all right? That's why we do the polarization, all right? Mr. Cash has talked about it many times in his workshops, and I know there's some people out there that just don't want to dig through, you know, 10,000 hours of whatever, okay? Suck it up if you missed it. It's not a big deal, okay? So don't worry about it. And I'm not talking about the guys that are in this group. I know this is probably going to be aired. So
I have a question here from Juan. Is my question regarding the plasma, is Mike or someone who knows photographed with Kirlian camera? I'm just reading what's written here to check it. So I think that it's a language kind of barrier here. Not quite understanding the gist of the question. And my question's regarding the plasma, and it was photographed, I'm assuming, with a camera.
Somebody took a picture of plasma.
I think so. I think that might be one. Am I relaying that question correctly?
There were several pictures posted
There.
on the net which had light anomalies within them, and the anomalies were all the same within the pictures, and they were all taken with different cameras, different events. And we are assuming that what we're seeing is artifacts of the plasma. The Kirlian photography is a very specialized type of photography, and it's designed to pick up energy fields. I
Mhm.
don't know, Juan, if it would actually pick up the plasma field because the Kirlian photography is still working in the matter level.
This is
Okay.
true. The camera still works in the matter level. It's the anomalies that are picked up, they're energy, whether it's being picked up by just the eye or it's being picked up by the camera, it's energy, one way or the other. Um, it's a fluke, maybe, I don't know. I've seen several videos of, YouTube and everything, and during my research, and I've never seen an orb myself. Okay, so I don't know what to see or what to expect. Um, I can only go by what I see when I meditate. And, by making these coils and the discoveries and everything like that, and that's why, it's so easy for me. But the orbs they were never small. That's all I can say. It was just a vortex of white, fuzzy light for me. So I can't explain an orb. Photography, everything's questionable with it. Just use your best judgment. How does it feel? If you're going to take a picture of it, if there is something out there to take a picture of, um, not if there's something to take a picture of, but with, I don't know of it yet. The best thing I would
Cameras.
suggest is thermals, because
Okay.
it picks up heat radiation. And, Richard has also been talking about that we need heat. Our body temperatures are 98.6 degrees. So, putting these loops in line, they'll create heat. Putting it next to your chest, it'll be warm. So, you know, I think if you wanted to pick up plasma, use a thermal device. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, when you're catching orbs, you can catch them easily using cameras. I have
Yeah.
quite a few
I
pictures.
personally don't have any experience with orbs.
Yeah,
I've
I
seen
got a
lots of
lot of them.
pictures, and I've had people show me pictures that they've taken. But my personal experience isn't. Um, I'm more of the entity type beings. Early on in my transformation or enlightenment, uh, I had a shadow being. I don't know how to explain it. It just looked like a shadow with eyes. Um, and a lot of you that may have followed my work, I lost 4 dogs, 4 of my animals in 4 weeks, one every week. Um, Either due to the busy road, um, two my 2 big dogs, my pit bulls were killed on the road. My little Chihuahua was missing, and um, another one, my cat, got sick and died, all within 4 weeks. So the manifestation of energies is all what's inside of you. Um, at that time, my ego was in the way. Um, but when I saw this entity, I felt 2 of them. My heart was racing. I wasn't out of breath. I wasn't scared, but I could feel the energy. I could feel a heartbeat, their nervousness pounding in my chest. Um, I looked around and I saw the one that was sitting on my roof. I did not feel like it was here to hurt me. It was here to observe me. It was here to look at me and make sure, or I don't know what the word is, judge me to see if I was worthy, or whatever, question me. I guess I don't know how else to explain the feeling that I had. And I remember looking at it and I said, "You're not supposed to be here. You need to leave." And I turned my back and I started to bury my dog, and that was the end of it. I haven't had any problems since with any other kind of entities out here, on that side. But I have seen what I believe to be one of the American triangular ships flying overhead about 3 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. They're looking for something. But with all of this stuff, guys, all you really have to do is complete the circuit. Okay. Infinity is a complete circle. All right.
Um,
When you twist it in half and you get the figure 8, okay, that increases the power. All right. From the circle or infinity to the figure 8. Okay. You twist it again. All right. So there's 2. You're increasing it again. Okay. But it follows the Fibonacci number sequence. For every twist, it's 1 number on the Fibonacci number sequence. So, if you put 2 twists in here to, I don't know, hold it together or, whatever it is that you decide, if you have 2 twists in the center here, okay, it would correlate with the second number 1 on the Fibonacci number sequence. Okay. If you had, I don't know how many are on this one, like 3 or 4, okay, you would go to the 4th number on the Fibonacci number sequence, and that would be your frequency. All right. I learned recently that, like the golden means, all of this stuff feeds into each other. Pi is the shortcut to infinity. And as you twist continually, all right, and you keep twisting, you're increasing the power. Okay. You're stacking neutrinos on top of each other. When you make an infinity loop or number 8 like this, okay, and you can see it, you see it here, okay, right there in the middle where that little gap is, okay, you can kind of see the shadow in the middle, all right. That little gap right there is where the light comes out, okay, that's where it's expressed from. And so when you twist it, you're wrapping it. I'm going to twist this one, all right. You're wrapping it. Okay, maybe I won't twist that one. You're adding another neutrino. Okay, you're creating another neutrino when you make the figure 8. Okay, you continue the figure 8. No matter how many twists there are, it's still a figure 8. Okay, it's still an infinity because it's still a circle. All right, so the more twists, if you put, this is a half twist, okay? The figure 8 is a half twist. Let me clarify this. All right. This is a half twist. You do a full twist, okay? That's 2, okay? That's 2 spots on the Fibonacci number sequence, okay? So every half twist is 1 number on the Fibonacci. So when you do it, 8 twists brings you, I believe, to 21 or 34. Okay. Now, when if it's 21, we'll say, okay, that's 21 hertz. Okay. 2 plus 1 is 3. You see the averaging like Mr. Kesh does. This is how we do it with light, okay, and plasma. But you keep twisting it, all right, you're adding 1 neutrino at a time. Well, when you add 1 neutrino, this is just a neutrino. If I add 2 of them, okay, this is a hydrogen right here, okay, skip this wire, just the figure 8 here. This is what a hydrogen element would look like, okay? And then if you were to go on to helium, okay, you would stack a 3rd one. All right, so now you've got 3 neutrinos, 3 figure 8s. And that's how you increase the elements, okay? This goes on infinitely, okay? you can continually add one neutrino to every one of the elements, and you will get a new element for every element that doesn't exist right now. Okay? Keep that in mind. If you're gonna name an element after me, just, just one, please. Call it Mr. Mike's element. But that's how you do it, okay? If you don't want to add one at a time like this, okay, and stack them up, then you twist them and you make a Trinity wire. All right, this is a little coil that I made. You make a Trinity wire. Each one of those twists in there is giving off the frequency of whatever element. All right, if I really wanted to know, then I would count each individual twist all the way around, okay, to complete, or you can put a counter on your drill or whatever. I don't care enough about that to do it, because I know what my outcome is going to be. So, but that's how you can tell, is by counting the notches inside of here, and it can get pretty long when you're making them. I'm going to show you a real quick, a different use for the Trinity, okay, or the quad core for that matter. You can use any. If you go back, all right, and you, I'll show it in anyway. Inside of this, all right, is a tube, like a little hospital tube that I coiled up, all right, just a little tubing, like air tube, okay, and I've got duct tape wrapped around it, and I made a little spring. Okay, I've got my two ends coming out of here. All right, inside of this tube is a nano-coated Trinity wire. Okay, I have nano-coated it with my gold GANs and my gold nano-coating material. Okay, so the concept is that I'm going to have a balanced plasma current that goes through here, okay, that will go through here, create a coil. This is an induction coil, all right? If I put energy on here, okay, depending on how much energy, after it's been nano-coated fully all the way up on the copper, okay, I know you can't see the wires right now because they're small, but this is my source, so this would be my positive, and then I would just either put it in line, or you can attach this without crushing the nano coating, okay? You can attach this to another power source, okay? And now you have an induction tube. So my idea is that I want to change a few things to gold. So now I've got an induction coil for gold. That's the plan for this. Now, obviously, I don't know if I'll let you know, but if you guys know me, I don't want to necessarily advertise it, but I do believe it's possible, and I believe that you guys should try it. Hint, hint, because Mr. Cash just said that you guys should make all the gold that you can, so we can make it obsolete. All right.
Somebody's asking
quad core.
what the ingredients are to make gold cans.
Gold.
There you
Gold and
go.
CO2. That's I used colloidal gold. I think it was like 440 or 500 parts per million or something like that. Okay. I made some of my CO2 with the pen pads that I made, and I put it in a jar. I rinsed it, or no, I didn't rinse the CO2 in it. I left salt water, okay? I just put it inside of a little jar, put about that much in there, and then I filled it up with distilled with the colloidal gold that I had and put it in there. It's currently sitting over there, and the colloidal gold will transform or be absorbed by the CO2. Okay, so the CO2 will eventually turn into gold GANs. Okay, because right now it's colloidal gold, which means that it's a little bit bigger. Okay, a lot bigger than the atomic structure. All right. We'll let's see here. What do I have? We're gonna say the end of this right here, this little rod that I've got, this wooden dowel, is your atomic structure. Okay, the circle. Okay, that's how big it is, right? Well, this would be the size of the GANs that we're using. Okay, and comparatively speaking, this is the size of colloidal gold. Okay, it's a molecule. It's not quite atomic. All right, so it's still matter. It's still gold that's floating in water. And so you just got the energy field from it. Okay, that's all we can use with it because I don't have a smelting facility or anything like that, so I wouldn't expect anybody else to. But that's how you make gold GANs is put, you know, obviously the more dense, or if you put a gold necklace in, just kiss it goodbye, you know, and say, you know, I appreciate it. You're giving me some good love and whatever. Put your gold necklace inside the jar of CO2 and salt water. Okay, just let it sit on it. Okay, your CO2 will turn almost a burgundy color, like this towel that I'm using here. Okay, and it'll be mixed depending on how pure your gold is. It'll be mixed with other metals, and you see the rainbow of the metals. If you don't mix it up, you'll see it dissolve into the different layers in your jar. Okay, well, once that's done, you can extract certain colors out of those. Whatever, the purple is gold. Okay, the violet purple color. Then you take that, because it's GANs now. Okay, you take that gold GANs and you put it into your own 100% caustic soda. Okay, sodium hydroxide, your caustic mix. You put that GANs from the gold into your caustic mix. Okay, now you have nano gold. And the nano gold is what you will spray onto your infinity loops. Okay, or your coils or any of your copper or anything like that, and it will absorb the light or the energy of gold, and it will be expressed out. Okay, so gold will heal you, I guess. It's like eating ormus, okay, or white gold, as the Egyptians used to use it.
Alchemy.
So,
yeah.
does that answer the question?
I have another one for you. Kellex asked, so what you're saying about the twisting of the, I am going to assume that's the twisting of your infinity wire, it creates or like an aurora boreas column of wave energies, helix bending light, and it creates a vortex. Is that
It does
how?
all of that.
Yes.
Yes. This infinity does all of that. Okay. It's balanced and it's perfect and it's pure. Okay. You don't have to fight with the, you know, the spinning reactors. You don't have to do any of that. Okay. This is your health pin. This is your reactor. This is your everything wrapped up in a little pretty little loop.
Provided that your intention is a positive, loving intention. Yes.
Well, yeah, because, you know, if you start using 12 gauge, you know, and for some people that don't have the strength of the hands like I do, you know, even 14 gauge could be pretty tough on your hands, you know, twisting it.
Yes.
You don't have to have a drill. Okay. I use a drill because I'm freaking lazy. All right. And simplicity is my key. And so if I can use a drill, I will. But you can do all of this by hand. Okay, it just takes longer. I'm just trying to teach you guys. I did all of this by hand first. If that tells you anything, right? I've experienced it. To me, the Infinity Project is all about teaching the people the simplicity of this. Okay, And what I plan to do with the Infinity Project is to take it on the road for some sort of a veterans fishing trip. Okay. Some of you know that I'm a war veteran. Okay. And I went to Iraq. I seen a lot of things that the human being shouldn't have to see, and it's very hard to deal with, and that's called PTSD. And for a lot of veterans, it's just a label and a stigma and everything else. And I want to show them that they don't need this system and they don't need that label. And it's time for a change. And just about every veteran who's ever been to war, okay, knows that they went to war, here, at least in America, for money. And my friends died for money and all that kind of stuff. And I'm done with that. Okay. And my wife asked me several months ago, almost a year ago, because I was complaining and complaining and complaining. And she said, look, honey, what the hell are you going to do? What are you going to do? Here's my answer. Okay. This is my answer.
And I
This
have
is my answer.
Okay.
another
question for you about that you're doing.
Mhm.
I have how do you put the GANs on the infinity twist?
Paint it on. Okay. You paint it on. I use a coffee filter. Okay. Just take a jar. I don't even have one here. But take a jar and I'm going to use a plastic container here because there's nothing else. Okay. And I take a little tiny little mason jars, right, that have those screw-on lids, and I put a coffee filter over the top, and it kind of sags down a little bit in the middle. Okay. And then I screw the lid on it, and then I pour the GANs. Okay. All the water that's caught down in there, we keep it, and you keep the GAN, and you can put a little fan on it. Okay. Or a light, like a little incandescent light bulb or whatever. And it'll start to thicken it up a little bit. Okay. And when it does that, that's when you stir it up in your container and whatnot. Okay. Let it dry up to where it's a little bit thick. And then you take that with a paintbrush. That's what I use. Okay. And I paint it on my coils. Okay. Or I paint it on my, the creases. Okay. Some of you guys have on your coils, when you put the GANs on there, you put too much. Okay. It was too thick. You just want to coat the surface of the wire with it. On your Infinity charms that you want to make, okay, these are powerful enough if you were to put them in line. Okay, you can do a lot of things with this, guys. Okay, don't just limit it to a charm. Okay, connect a wire to source. Okay, left hand, connect a wire that way. Connect the other side here. Okay. You will absorb every frequency that this coil reaches. Okay. If there are 2,000 turns on this, okay, the element that has the atomic number of 2001, okay, is the one that you're going to be expressing the energy for. Okay. So it will absorb everything in that spectrum. Okay. And filter it, okay, by your intention, okay, and express it out for each one of the twists where they overlap, okay, where they cross over. Okay. This one has 2. This is Mr. Kesh's favorite shape, okay, for a reason. Now, remember, the big one will always give to the littler ones. So you want a variation in sizes, okay? And you want a variation in the number of wraps that you can see for each one of these, okay? Because the magic is going to happen in the middle here on all of those. All right, so this one's producing a small field, this one's producing a small field, and this one's producing a small field. So there's 3 bubbles around it, okay? The overall field is, for this one, I don't know, maybe about 50 or 60 football fields. So you have fun. I love you guys. Learn how to work these. Just keep the flow. Okay, that's all it is. Keeping the flow. Okay. If you have to, when you're making one of these coils, okay, or one of these infinity loops, or anything that has to do with a single copper wire, if you have to make a 90-degree turn, okay, it's not going with the flow. Okay. The only time water or plasma makes a 90-degree turn is when you make it. Okay. You can do it with your wires when you bend it, but not necessarily with your infinity. Okay. You want the smooth, you want the curves, you want the feminine side of copper to come out. Okay. And what we're doing, since a straight line is considered masculine, okay, we're combining the feminine with the masculine, okay?
And that's
for the
essential.
long,
Yeah,
and that's part of the spiritual side of things.
right.
So that's why you're finding balance in here with all of the infinity, okay?
I can add a little to that too. A lot
Go for it.
of production is made in masculine rather than feminine energies. So
Right.
when you walk into stores, Walmarts, or where they sell all kinds of products, a lot of that is that they've achieved that product by removing the feminine energy out of it. And so when you walk into a store and all of a sudden you feel this surge of energy, there's a reason why, because it's trying to regroup and regain that loss of the feminine energy. So this is what part of our evolutionary process is about right now.
It very, very much so is. And if you guys, obviously you have access to the internet, and if you haven't watched it, okay, you should go watch there's like a 4-hour series on spirit science. Yes.
Oh,
Thank you
okay.
guys. Spirit science comes, they've got a great little animated program that shows you everything. Okay. It's just fantastic. If you have a lot of questions about the spiritual side or what's really going on, or you want to just introduce somebody to it, they've got 15 20-minute little clip segments, or you can watch all 4 hours of it at once. And there's a really great program that they made. It's called the Sacred Geometry that they have, and you guys really should watch that. Okay.
I have
Now,
one more question for you
go
also.
ahead.
It says, what is the variation of the number of wraps of the infinity twist?
What is the variation of the
Of the number of
wraps?
wraps. Yeah.
Are we talking about these?
The
Is that what
is
we're
this?
talking about?
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting. Let's see what we got here. Hang on a sec.
I think he's asking about a ratio between the loops.
Yeah, I believe that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's you just want to have a difference. It doesn't matter. Okay, a slight difference makes all the difference. So
Intuition.
yeah, just go with the flow. I always use a bigger one. Like I was showing you on the other one. I use a bigger marker or device or pen or whatever for my starting point. When I'm doing it, because this is the positive end here. Okay, so I want this one to be a little bit bigger. Okay, and you can tell by the positive because this is where it starts and stops over here. because of all the twists, wherever your wire ends up, that's your negative side, okay? On the polarity structure of the whole loop, okay? The totality of it, all right? The polarity of the whole loop here is negative and positive, the rounded side, okay? I always put the bigger side down at the bottom, okay? And then I put my smaller side up top. Play with it, add more, as long as the ends come back together and they point back to, I'm trying to get you to, there you go. Looks like a heart, okay? You can see the space between it,
That's,
light,
you got it. That's exactly what they were looking for.
okay? But the wire points back to itself, okay? Feeds back into itself here, okay? And that's what makes it infinite. When you do this, okay, after it's been nano coated, okay, when you do that kind of stuff, it's forcing all the light energy to go back through the circuit at 1 trillion times per second, okay? And so it's bouncing around in here. And what Mr. Kesh is talking about, as far as it takes a little bit of time for your coils to get to know your house, okay, to become accustomed to it, to get the average of the energy, the usage that you need, okay, it's filling up the void or the space that you've created with plasma, okay? And plasma seems to move at its own pace until you give it a purpose, okay? And what we're doing here is giving it a purpose, and each place that this wire interacts, okay, despite the many coils that you see, treat this as one wire after it's been connected, okay? Treat this all as one and deal with the field interactions. So you've got an expression of energy here and an expression of energy here, okay? So what happens is it takes two to tango, right? Okay? When this one is expressed, even no matter how small it is, and this one's expressed, it meets in the middle, right? Which is then absorbed because the holes are magnets, okay, or they're gravitational, which means that they're going to absorb the energy into the hole, okay? An antenna might be a better term, okay? And then it's expressed right there where they cross over, okay? Because that's where the field interactions are going to happen. Well, it takes two to tango, so this one and this one are going to create the third one, okay? That third one has got the plasmatic pressure all the way around it. So as what happens with Mr. Cash, okay? And the ping pong ball reactors and the spinning reactors and things like that he's been working with, okay, is that it's spinning, 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 and it comes together and it collapses down, and then it expresses out, okay? And so now you've got this bubble that's around this infinity loop, all right? And when you wear it around your neck, how big is that bubble? Okay, it's big enough to interact with your heart and your head, okay? You see? That's more powerful than we know what to do with, but this is the power of the light, and you will help everybody. I think you would only need one per family, honestly, okay? This would protect an entire family.
You could easily hang one at your front door.
That's correct. I have at my front door, I have my Trinity 12 health wand that I put, and that's at the front of my door, and it's sitting on top of a horseshoe, an iron horseshoe, and it's connecting the 2 points at the top of the horseshoe. And a horseshoe has always been good luck until you dump it out, right? So it's collecting all of the plasma and all of the love that's inside of that. That was the concept behind it for me. So hang them up, put it on your rear view mirror, okay? After you nano coat it, paint some CO2 GANs on it, okay? Don't be, you don't have to get all serious with it if you don't want to, but put CO2 on it, okay?
Could they, for those people who are concerned about that, could they just put a little clear nail polish over the top of that after?
I believe that that'll work, you know.
Okay. As an alternative.
Yeah, it'll protect it. I've got a product out in my lab area that it's called liquid electrical tape. And it's just something that you can paint on. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I do believe
Same
that it will
idea.
give a kind of a rubberized coating
Mhm.
and make it a little bit more durable. And, you know, so
That's
this is
cool.
what your guys' research dollars and donations are going to, is just these little things to make it as simple as possible. So you donate a bunch of money now so I can learn, buy all the expensive stuff so that you don't have to buy the expensive stuff. You know, and I guess that's my mentality in it. So now
Yeah.
I really want to show you. We're going to use, I'm going to redo the quad, okay, because somebody asked. Get my wire. But we're going to make a quad core health pin, okay, without all the extra wraps and things like that. Just the quad core, okay. So simple. Okay, I put my hand, and you see it, the copper wire. All right, it's in the palm of my hand. Okay. If you go the other direction, okay, than what I'm going now, okay, I am going, oh, so tired of wires. Ready for wireless, baby. Okay, goes around my hand twice. Okay, this is the quad core. Okay, you can see the field interactions. Okay, there's 4 of them. Let's go a little further here. Let's spark your imagination. Okay, well, we're going to go back the other direction. Okay, so now I'm going to do it, and I have now 5 interactions. Okay, don't count this in, but you see, count the 5 wires right there. That's 5 interactions. That is a pentagram. Okay, in the language of light. Oh, you're not satisfied with the pentagram? Oh, let's go to the Star of David. Six-pointed star. Just go back the other way. All right. So this isn't hard. I know you guys can do this, and I expect to see a whole bunch of beautiful infinity out there. Okay. Now, I've had reports from people who have copied my Trident health pin, okay, which is just a Calcatus coil with a Trinity wire down the center, okay, and that gives 3 points for finding balance on it. That's why I called it the Trident, because it looked like a prong, I guess. Okay, so now we got this one. And reverse your drill. Spin it counterclockwise. Okay. Got a little eager on that one. Okay. Spin it. This one. This be the 6 field interactions, the Star of David. You see how thick it's not. Let's see here. I believe this is a 1/4 inch dowel. Okay. So you can see how thick that this isn't right here. There's 6 field interactions, guys. Okay. And you cut these off whatever length you want. Okay, however big your pin is. Okay, if you wanted to, you could go back and wrap your coil around it again. I would only suggest going, it's really powerful, okay? If you're gonna do it right, okay? So if you're gonna go back and you wanna put a coil on this, okay, I'm going to show you my way of doing it. Let me take this out of here. Okay. Because I'm doing a health pin and I'm not doing a power unit, I can switch gauges on my copper wire. Okay. You don't really want to switch gauges when you're using electrical devices because electricity is screwed up. All right. So, now I'm going back to my 28 gauge wire. Okay. And I've got my source wire marked. Okay. Right there. Okay. And the other one is the inline side, I guess, whatnot. Okay. But this is what I do. I take this still 28 gauge wire, I put it in between, and I take my non source side, okay, and I wrap it around the wire. You can space it however you want. This is acting like a capacitor, okay, to build the charge along the wire, and it's like putting a little dam up whenever it runs to the next wire that's on there. It's almost like a dam, and then it collects it and then it filters it up. Okay. I don't know how I know all of this, guys. I'm just relaying the information that I can see. Okay. Now I have the 28 gauge wire here. Oops. I am switching my rotation. Okay. I had this one going counterclockwise. Okay. But now I'm putting an outer coil on it. All right. The outer coil is going to also be Caucasus, but I consider this being like the Tesla coil for induction. Okay, and you'll see in a second. Now, Spark, if you can talk while I'm doing this, it would be great. I wish
Talking well. I was actually looking to see if everybody had their questions answered.
Okay.
I don't see any other additional questions. So why don't you explain what you're doing though? This is.
I am covering the quad core with a 28 gauge bare copper wire. It doesn't have any insulation on it. Okay. I went all the way down once, and I'm going all the way back up once. Okay. And I'm basically tight wrapping this coil. Okay. That's all I'm doing. I'm just tight wrapping it here. Okay.
And now what have you done to it energetically?
I've treated this like an induction coil, like on the Tesla coil. Okay. You know, you get the little Tesla coil tower. Okay. And it's got the coils wrapped around it. That's the kind of wire that I'm using, except I'm using the central core. And this particular one's got 6 field interactions, which is equivalent to a 6-pointed star, Star of David, whatever. Okay. The Merkaba, also known as the star tetrahedron. Okay. That's what this is.
Okay.
Now, I'm making a health pin out of this. Okay. That's all I'm doing here.
So the intention is to create healing and to create immediate healing.
And it's important that you're doing this.
Kind of cut out. We missed that. What did you just say?
The copper wire. It's really important that you pay attention to your intent when you're making it. Okay.
Right.
For a request from somebody and you make a personal device for them.
There you go.
Okay. Because your intent is pure and you have a purpose for that intent. When you're bending these copper wires, okay, and you're twisting them like I am with the drill, okay, that copper wire heats up. Okay. It heats up just enough that it'll start to nanocoat itself. Okay. I have many, and I posted pictures. Okay. If I let it sit outside in the air for a little bit, a day or two after I've done it, it starts to gray. Okay. And it starts to collect and move its carbon to the surface. Okay. So just by twisting it, you are activating the nano atomic structure of this copper wire. So your intent, just like if you were to use water, okay, and you spray it and you say your blessing and all that kind of stuff, it is being stored in your wire. Okay, if you sit there and bend a piece of copper wire, you'll feel that it gets hot. Okay, you're messing with the atomic structure of it right there, wherever it's getting hot. Okay, it's no different than sticking it on the stove heated up and change the colors. The difference there is the stove has more power than you do. Okay, but as above, so below. It's just happening slower here than if I was to put it on the stove. Okay, or in the caustic or whatever. Okay, that's the only reason why I'm doing that. Now, as you can see, I've got my source wire left, and I have a little wire, the leftover wire that I cut off. You can't really see it. Okay, but my pattern. Okay, I'm going to show you pointed at you. All right.
Okay.
Let's remove this one. Okay, we're going here.
The screen is frozen.
Now, this wire.
There we go.
Better?
Yes, the screen was frozen for a minute.
Okay. The flow of this wire here, okay, is this direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue that direction on to my source wire. Okay, and that's what you're seeing around right now is my source wire. Okay. So you're seeing this. You can get fancy on here. You can put some of them close together, okay, if you want to. But that's all I'm doing. Just wrapping that little 28 gauge wire on there. It has to be uncoated, guys. There is some antenna wire or copper wire that's coated out there. It'll eventually get nano coated, but it's going to take a long time if it is coated. So you want it to be bare copper. Okay. So now I've got this split. Okay. And I am done with my drill. Now,
Okay, so while you're doing this, another question came in, and that was about they have black electrical tape. And can they use that? Their concern, though, isn't there a chemical on there that might interfere or create an issue with all the work that you're doing?
I don't see it being an issue personally.
Okay.
There are things that you don't want to add. That's a given. But electrical tape, I don't see it as being a problem. You're there, your intent to use it. Again, when you stretch the tape out, it heats up. So if you're intending for it to, protect you, then that's what it'll do.
I have to backtrack here. He's talking about
the way in the light.
I have to backtrack here. I misread what he asked. Matt was asking about, he has the liquid electrical tape, and that was his concern, was the chemical interaction, and it would affect the nano coating and et cetera.
I haven't used it yet, so I don't know what to expect with it. I was looking at the chemicals in it, and anything that's liquid is GANs until it dries out, and then it's matter.
Well,
if we think about it that way, no, it's not all GANs, okay? But like Mr. Kesh was explaining, water is matter state, but it's also a GANs. So, take it for what it's worth. Take the information and the knowledge of that concept, okay? and apply it everywhere, and you'll be fine with it. So, but as far as the liquid coating goes, I don't know. I don't have any kind of meters or anything to tell me what exactly energy is coming out of it, what frequency or whatever. But adding to it, yes, it would express it out, but it would only absorb the fields from it, and your body takes what it needs. And if your body doesn't need liquid electrical tape, then it shouldn't bother you. That's the mentality for me. If my body doesn't need it, I don't need to worry about it in the light spectrum. Okay, it's only the matter spectrum that's screwing with our bodies and giving us the excess electrons. Okay, and that's what these devices do. These health pens, is that they remove those excess electrons that are in our bodies. Okay? And for, get creative with it, okay? Let me show you here. This is the 6, okay? The 6 interaction. Get creative. Make it look pretty, okay? You're making a piece of art and you're giving your love to somebody, okay? In some way, shape, or form. So I just twist these together to conserve space, okay, for a pen. But it also increases with every twist, okay? So if the energy is coming in here, it's going to be increased and amplified, okay, until it gets here, to which it will pick up this field, right? It splits off. It splits off from itself. So now you're creating a magnetic field in between here, okay? One's positive on one side and the other one's going the other direction. Okay, so you're creating a field here in a vortex inside of that, okay? And then on top of it, it comes back down here, they join up again and they go into the 6 fields that go back and forth, okay? And then it comes back out the other side, right? Or well, this side in this case. So, get creative with it. And I always tell people to double, come on now, work with me here. Make sure you use 2 different lengths, okay?
Got a question.
Potential distance.
Yep.
So
Robert has a question.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
You want 2 different lengths here, okay? I'm going to show you. Can you see the board? Because I got to get off of here real soon, guys. When Mr. Kesh was talking about the way infinity is created with the health pins, okay? He's talking about how this is the wall of the skin, okay? And then you bring the health pin in, okay? And it's coming down here, right? And just touching the surface of the skin. Well, this particular device, okay, would be sitting in here, right? And you'll have longer than normal, okay? And then you get this out here, all right? The difference, okay? Mr. Kesh draws infinity loops. Okay. Connection here, okay? There's a magnetical, and I don't know if you can see this, guys. I'm gonna try and help you out here. All right, and then this one creates a slightly bigger one, okay? So now you have the 2 different magnetical and gravitational. God, that is such a crappy picture. I'm sorry, guys. Soon I will be blessed with everything that I need to teach you guys. But this right here is, you're going to have a potential difference between this one and this one, okay? That's the problem, or that's what we're trying to create here. This tip is going to create an infinity loop between the tip and your skin. Okay. This one is going to do the same thing. Okay. And then at the same time, these two are going to interact with each other. Okay. Which is going to feed the body, the plasma. Okay. So that's how you get your energy sticks or wands or whatever. This one is a complete. Okay. And it's got a heart right in the middle. Okay. So this is a healing pen, okay, or device. You can put your electrical tape on it, put duct tape, put it in a tube, put it in a jar, whatever it is, you know, I don't. If I have a tube that'll fit over the end of this is my handle, okay? So I would use this as my handle here. And I don't touch anything else here because I know how to use my tools, okay? But for those, if you're going to make this, then yeah, you want to encase it. This doesn't have to be that big, okay? I'm just showing it so you guys can see it be easy on the video.
Cool.
Okay, so.
I have
let's see if
that
you
question
can
though.
see it. It's a really tight wrap. All right, I'm ready for the question.
Okay, this question has to do with your energies. I got to make sure I get to the right spot here. Talking about the excess electrons. This is Robert. Excess electrons. How does earthing affect the body? Does it actually add electrons or does it remove them? Remove
Okay.
electrons.
All right. First thing you have to understand, okay, it's not really electrons. I'm telling you electrons because they're using the plasmatic version of the electrons, okay, the negative polarity of light. That excess amount of energy, okay, that is what I call the excess amount of electrons. Okay, you got an excess amount of negative polarity energy in your body. Okay, and we get all of that from, you know, the chemtrails, aluminum. You get it from your medication. If you've had fluoride in your water before, that helps your brain absorb aluminum, and the aluminum gives off the excess amount of electrons. Okay, those electrons are then transferred into negative plasmatic energy. Okay, that's what keeps you sick. The human body is a miraculous machine, living entity. Okay, it's one of those crazy things that if you stopped eating the crap that they feed you in this grocery stores and you grew your own food, if you stopped taking any medication whatsoever, period, okay, and you started on herbal supplements like vitamin D, okay,
Sunshine.
and yeah, sunshine, okay.
Yeah.
If you dropped all of that, your body would heal by itself, okay. But
We have that ability.
we can't tell you not to eat, okay, and the only food that's available out there is what we let them grow for us, okay, because most of us have forgotten how to farm. And that excess energy is coming from the growing of the food that's out here, the antibiotics, the vaccines, the, you know, all of that stuff is just pouring all of this extra stuff into your body. And one, you can hardly eat the food, okay? Your body can hardly absorb it. And two, it's not healthy for you, okay? You know, I've been an avid meat eater for a very long time, okay, my whole life. And I like a good hamburger. But when you learn the plasmatic version of this, when those animals are killed, okay, if they are in a
Energetic,
fear
yes.
state, okay, as soon as they're killed, that fear is frozen. Okay, it's frozen throughout their body. Okay, it just stops and it stays there, and so that's what makes the meat toxic to us. Okay. And it's all fear-based, nutrients, as I call it. The recent information that they found human meat in McDonald's, that was another turnoff. It wasn't DNA, it was human meat, which means that there was a chunk of somebody in there. And that's just nasty to me. I think back of, how many Big Macs I've enjoyed throughout my life. And I wonder, what body part or who I ate.
Well,
You know?
the other thing too is it's non-food. Most of it is created through other processes. And so it's just like the whole concept of drinking water or going in and using a microwave oven, because what happens is it totally depletes the nutrient value of it. And
Let me explain
Yeah.
to you
Yeah.
the microwave portion. Okay.
Mhm.
When you microwave water, okay, water naturally we'll say is this size, okay, a water molecule. All right. We'll say it's fitting in a little bubble right there. Okay. When you microwave it, it turns this big. All right. And your body can't absorb it because the only spot you have in your body is only big as that, this little circle here. Okay. So when you try to cram this into that little hole, it doesn't work. So you guys eat more because you're still hungry. Your body isn't getting satisfied because those little pockets aren't being filled. Okay. So that's what happens when you microwave water, and that's why if you give microwave water to a plant, they'll die. Okay. It's just like they'll die of dehydration, lack of water, because they can't absorb it. And that's why we're obese in America and around the world, is because if you're eating this food, you're eating a lot of it, but you're not getting any satisfaction whatsoever in your body about eating. So
Body's not being nourished correctly.
well,
Right.
it's not able to
Mhm.
send the signal that you're full,
Mhm.
because you I don't know, think of it like a hollow tube, okay, that you only have so much space to fill up, okay? And as you eat, it fills up that space, right? And when it's full, it cuts off. You can't put anything else in there, okay? Well, if it's empty all the time and they're trying to put something in it, not fitting, then you're going to be hungry all the time, but you're still eating all this stuff, And so your body doesn't know what to do with it, and that's what turns it into fat. Now, it's an interesting lifestyle, because we still eat chicken, we had turkey, we still eat
Organic.
ham. We bless the animals. We bless the animals and the plants that gave us the nourishment that we need. When I believe that when the time is right, okay, I've tried to fast. I have fasted on my own, and I've cleansed. But it's been so difficult that I had so many problems. It was making me grumpy. It was doing, all of these stupid things that I didn't want to do. So I just stopped fighting it, and I started eating. But I started choosing what I wanted to eat, and I voted with my money. So we bought organic and, farm raised, GMO free, type foods. And that's where I spend my money. Okay. I have 8 children in my family here, and, the 3 adults that hang around, and that's a lot of people to feed. So, it's, most of them are young adults now, but all of this stuff that we're doing, these coils, that's eliminating that expense for me. I won't need money to pay for food. I won't need money to go to the doctor, okay, because I, got my health pin, and I won't need to get fuel because, I can put something like this in my inline on my car, and it does the same thing. A lot of
Have
you
a
guys want
question
my
about
proof of
how
concept.
you have another question about how do you cleanse yourself of the toxins is the next question.
The toxins from food and energy.
I'm assuming.
Well, I cleanse myself by juicing. Okay. Every once in a while, if I start feeling like crap, I can always tell when I drink a soda. Okay. A little 12-ounce can of Pepsi or something. The very next day, I can feel right where the sugar settles, and it's all in my neck and all in my shoulders. Okay. And for a whole day, I'm sore and I'm achy, and it's just kind of a reminder of, hey, don't eat that crap. You know, you can still eat it. I've been eating it for years. What's one more day? That's what I keep telling myself. But then eventually your body starts telling you, hey man, that shit hurts. Don't do it anymore. And you just kind of forget about that you even want one. And the next time you drink one might be in a couple of weeks. And the very first time you take a drink of it, you're going to notice and you're going to be able to taste all of the ingredients in there. And you will be amazed at how much you don't like that taste. So, it's just I don't know if it's a mental switch over or it's the energies that are coming in from the central sun or whatever it is. That's my experience. That's how it's been working for me. There's no sleeping. That's a dream by itself. I average about 3 to 4 hours of sleep in a 24 and sometimes 36-hour window. And I'm fine. I just get up and go. A lot of you guys ask me how I came about my knowledge, and I saw Mr. Kesh make an infinity loop, and I'd been doing all of this for a while, making my own, and I didn't understand it. Okay, and I saw Mr. Kesh make a little infinity loop that was all black, and he was showing it on one of the workshops. And right then, boom, it clicked. Oh, hey, I know what all this is. And then I went into infinity, and I started tearing it apart. Okay, and one morning I woke up and I had the number pi, 3.1415, on my mind. I don't know why, but I woke up with it bright as day in my mind, and I was like, why are you thinking about that today? Kind of blew it off. Came out about 10 minutes later, my son came in for work and he's wearing a shirt that's got 3.1415 on it. Okay, and it says pi. And I was just this is when I was learning to trust myself, and I was kind of taken aback, and I was like, all right, I'll bite. What's your most favorite thing about infinity? What's the coolest thing, or not infinity, but what's the coolest thing that you know about pi? And he, without a beat, he said, Dad, pi is the shortcut to infinity. And 30 minutes later, I wrote what I believe to be the equations of creation, which allow you to see if the numbers are in there correctly. If you put the numbers in there, you will be able to calculate the volume of your maggrav field, how big it is. Okay, you can also do it with the universe because they're all the same shape. They look like an infinity loop with a circle around it. Okay, that's all it is. That's a neutrino. That's what our universe is a giant neutrino in the center. That's what the central sun is a neutrino. So, all right, I think I just lost my mind there, literally.
Well,
Did I answer the question? This is the initial Infinity Project video. We will get better. Spark, if you choose not to give your name, that's fine. Okay.
That's my name.
And we will go from there.
That's my name, Spark.
All right. Well, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy that we know this.
Yes.
We're working on putting together a little kind of a talk show, not so much like Mr. Kesh is the teaching environment.
Well, we'll figure that out first before once we have a real direction on it, we can go.
I'm asking the opinion of the people, okay? Because This is your information. How would you guys Okay. And if you can send me an email to MJN. Okay. MJ as in Jack. N as in Nashif, my last name. Okay. Guardian at gmail.com. MJNGuardian at gmail.com. But if you guys have some suggestions on, like a format that you would like to see to make it easier, friendly, things like that, please send me an email, and we'll get the team collaborating so that we can make this, the greatest show on earth. All right, because this is the Infinity Project. The light is here, and we are strong, and we're pissed off. I know I am. Okay, and here in the next couple of weeks, Mr. Mike is going to open his plasma. Okay, and you guys have always asked me why, how come I don't prove, or how come I'm not working, or I'm still paying for electricity, or whatever. Okay, I'm here to help you, just like Mr. Kesh. Okay, if I plug in, then that means it's go time. That means that there's enough people out there that can handle it if I were to be killed, or Mr. Kesh were to be killed, or anything like that. Okay, there's enough people out there that will carry on. My work is out there. Okay, my notes are out there. If you haven't gotten them, go in my pictures, copy and paste them. Okay, screenshot them, save them, print them out. Okay, they will help you, and that's what this is designed for, is to help you be independent and to love your neighbor and to be peaceful. And that's what the Infinity Project is all about, is helping thy neighbor. And I'm hoping that it becomes a worldwide event. Okay, but I've got to start somewhere, and that somewhere is going to be here in the United States. I need your guys' help if you're creating or using some of the devices that I've made. Okay, if you can give me a shout out on a YouTube video or a little video of your device or whatnot, okay, with your experience about these, okay, and the devices that I've made, I will take those little snippets and I will create an Indiegogo campaign. Okay, we've been talking about it for a while, but it kind of fizzled out. I'm still going forward with it. So if you want to support me on this, then, by all means, and we will have an Indiegogo campaign. The best part is there aren't going to be any I don't know what they call them, gifts, okay, incentives, okay. I'm going to teach them how to make this energy device once we prove it, okay. I'm going to teach them how to do it right there in the video. And then I'm going to turn around and ask them to make it work, okay, to put it together the way we describe it, all right. And when their electricity bill goes down, if they will pay us the difference, okay, or donate the difference of their electricity bill, okay, or if somebody gets cured by cancer because of these, okay, instead of sending those crooks your freaking next payment, send it to us so we can teach other people, okay, and you can be part of it. I'm sure there's going to be an event near you somewhere, and I believe that this is the path that we need to follow, and I'm hoping that we have enough people to make this happen. Actually, I know we have enough people because I've seen it. I don't know how to explain that. So the light is here. We've already won, guys. Infinity. We will do this again in the future. This is me jumping out there, okay, and putting my face out there, I guess, as the face of Infinity here.
Okay.
And
Yep.
letting you
We've
guys
got
see who I
some-
am and go there.
There are several people saying thank you, Robert, and a couple folks from Houston.
Like I said,
There we
thank
go,
you guys
Craig.
very much
Yep.
for listening. And
Yep.
we really,
Yep.
really appreciate it. And it's going to only get bigger. You know, you guys are on the ground floor of the greatest.com ever to be.
That's great.
So if you're, you know, when I say .com, okay, this is the next big .com. And if you're not on board with it yet, you will be. Everybody will be. So thank you
Yep.
guys. I appreciate it.
Cornelius says thank you. Robert says thank you. I mean, everybody's kind of chiming in, so there's a group consensus. They liked what they heard. I can see that. So we'll plan on doing this again soon enough.
Yes,
Yes.
we'll let you know once
Yep.
we see the video and all of that, and we'll see what kind of response we get from it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My intention is to have 90-minute classes, okay, an hour and a half for the Infinity Project of just, you know, question and answer, and I can show you. I sit here when I'm making stuff, I'm meditating, so you're getting channeled energy. I don't know how else to explain it. My higher self is talking to you, and my higher self
Okay.
loves you guys.
Okay, great,
So
great,
take care of
great.
yourself.
All righty. Well, thanks again. Thanks for inviting
Thank you,
me. John, you're amazing. Thanks. There's no way I could have
Thank you,
done what
John.
you're doing. Yeah. I'm going to check
Thank you.
out.
Thank you guys.